Southwestern Family of Companies welcomes you to the Action Catalyst. Each week, our diversely and amazingly accomplished guests share their insights and inspirations to help us ignite our own. So let's invest attention together to breathe, to reflect and refocus, and decisively defeat that voice we call Mr. Mediocrity. Then let's enjoy moving forward to make a positive difference in our world.
This episode is sponsored by Southwestern Coaching. Southwestern Coaching has helped over 12,000 people increase their incomes by over 25% on average. As a successful salesperson, you know the importance of increasing your sales, but sometimes you might just need a little extra push and accountability to meet your goals and grow your business. Southwestern Coaching will help you increase your income through one-on-one sales and leadership coaching tailored specifically to your needs. Together, we will elevate sales.
It's finally here. Redefining Possible is now available from author Ron Alford, who joins us today to discuss some of what listeners can find in the new book. Ron, tell us a bit about yourself and why you're excited to have Redefining Possible available to the world.
I'm just trying to work on how can we give the things we've been given. At the end of a day or a week, it's not the awards we hit or the things we accumulate, the trophies, but it's the memories, and it's being able to see an impact of something maybe you said, maybe you did, and how it lives on. And so, it's been a blast working on this. And then there's also been some challenges. There's been conflict because your heart is in this. This is our guts, and you want to honor the stories. And this is very personal stuff. We share a lot of personal stories of people we know and we've studied and we've watched. And hopefully as you read it, it's the emotion it evokes in you. It's the feelings that create the behaviors and the adjustments in your own life that allow us to get different results. It's so refreshing because every time we talk, there's a focus on how can we be better tomorrow? How can we enjoy and appreciate and be content in the moment, but yet how can we be better? How can we sharpen? How can we, really make a bigger impact ahead? And so that's definitely a lot of the theme of this book. So without further ado, let's kind of go through a preview. I want to open up with a little bit of an idea on the power of possible. And so the ideas of how to control our thoughts. There's a quote that says, "The cave that I fear to enter is the cave that holds the treasure." Fear holds us back like crazy. And there's something in our life that's a cave. There's a relationship that we know we need to work on. There's a business goal that we've been thinking about for years that we're hesitant to really go for. There's a fitness thing that's kind of nagging us in the back of our mind. There's a spending habit. There's whatever it might be that can hold us back, and really learning how to kind of overcome that fear is so much of the theme of this book. My take is if you show me your habits, if we could look back, we'll know your results. It's that simple. We're defined by our habits and our ability to adjust our habits to help us be better. And so the whole theme of this book, the power of possible. I went for a walk this morning just to kind of get some fresh air, just thinking about the beauty around us. And I literally can focus on how early it is or how much I've got to do today or whatever it is. Or I can take a breath and focus on fresh air and focus on how joyful I am. There's so much possibility and beauty in the moment. And it's all what we choose to look at. It's what we choose to focus on.
Talk to us about the concept of taking ownership.
It's otherwise known as taking full responsibility. And for a lot of us, that's tough. A lot of times we shy away from being accountable. We want freedom. We want kind of be able to go our own way and not have someone micromanaging us. Ownership is such a key foundational principle for any type of success or significance in life. Because what happens, and it's so fascinating, and for those of you that are parents, it's just the things that I talk to my 3 kids about. My wife and I are a blended family. I was a single dad for many years. She was a single mom. And it's just this incredible dynamic of us trying to work with our kids and then realizing the things we work with them on about not blaming each other, not blaming, their situation or just blaming anything. And then are we looking in the mirror? Are my wife and I, as the adults, practicing the principles that we're teaching them and literally owning, my fitness situation, my financial situation? So the first step is owning that 100%. If you own it with 99%, it is dramatically different. That 1% makes all the difference because there's zero blame on government, situation, company, the other people. It's what I did, period. And then the second part is breathing in perspective, being able to realize, okay, I may have some habits or my fitness, my finances, my business production, some relationships, whatever that's a bit off course. But perspective reminds us that that's not the end of the world. It's not as bad as it could be. It's okay. And so perspective allows us to kind of stand taller and just have a renewed energy. It's literally jet fuel for your life. You can take this negative situation and say, okay, I'm going to transform this into positive energy. But it really does begin with ownership.
What are a few of the other strategies readers can find in the book?
Personally, the way my mind best thinks of them is like a muscle that can be strengthened or is weakened with use, with practice. I obviously talk to my kids about this a lot. You want to run faster at school, or my daughter doing gymnastics, or my sons that want to play football, or whatever the activity is. You have to practice getting your legs to move faster, or for my daughter, her handstands. Or I think of these next three in that manner. First of these is belief, and breaking belief barriers and just stretching what we believe is possible. Obviously, anything we're going to go after, we all know the old adage, thinking big. It's just a fascinating topic. My wife and I have a new puppy, and we were talking this last weekend about, we have some acreage behind our house. We were talking about putting in one of those invisible fences so that this puppy quits going out and getting into crap that he should not be getting into. And so in other words, we need to limit where he goes. First, he might be zapped or however this thing works. Well, then very soon he's going to be programmed to believe that he's never able to go past that line. And we all know 2 years from now, if we move, they don't push the boundaries. They don't even try to get past it until they maybe see some other dogs running through it, right? And then maybe they'll follow those other dogs. And it's the same story of Roger Bannister breaking the 4-minute mile, or, so many achievements and accomplishments that have happened over the history of the human race. And so this could be anything, teaching our kids how to do push-ups or selling more revenue, whatever it is. But man, it's fun to exercise that muscle of belief and fortifying our faith. Nothing of true significance has been accomplished without extreme measures of faith. And now that doesn't mean you didn't win a trophy or win a game or get a pay raise, but I'm talking something truly memorable that actually had significant value in other people's lives. And if you look at the history of humankind, it is just such a difference maker, people that have strengthened this muscle of faith. The faith quotient in this book is when we fall on our face, we experience pain, we experience failure, we experience loss, we experience setback, but faith gets us through it. When you create that beautiful vision board that inspires you, it actually makes your eyes water up because you're so inspired to start that nonprofit, or take your family on that trip, or have that second home, or eliminate that debt, or whatever it is that gets you out of bed in the morning. That's beautiful. That can inspire any human. Well, guess what? Next week, next month, next year, something's going to rock you. There's going to be an obstacle that tries to hold you back. And with minimal faith, what happens is you turn and you give up. We have an excuse. We just say, it wasn't meant to be. And then we come up with all these rationalizations. And it's just so sad. It's such a sad thing to see in a human that does that. And I'm guilty of it, but that's why I'm trying to strengthen that muscle of faith, because that allows us to push through. If it's on that vision board, it's supposed to be on that vision. Nothing is coincidental. If it hit your heart enough, print out that picture and put it on your vision board, it is supposed to happen. It may not happen in the time frame you choose or hope, but faith gets you through it. Faith is what kind of keeps that hope alive.
This is only a preview of all the great information available in Redefining Possible. So if you feel inspired, pick up a copy today, available now on Amazon and many other fine booksellers.
If you enjoy this podcast, please make sure to subscribe. And to stay updated on everything that the Action Catalyst is up to, make sure to follow us on Facebook and Instagram at Action Catalyst Podcast, and on Twitter at Catalyst_Action. And as always, thanks for listening.